I found a interesting article I'd like to share because it's on the level of how to treat. The title of it is "This is how to tackle hate and bigotry," right? But the main reason I want to bring it up, I know some are going to say you lost your doggone mind, to uh, even read this story, but it's quite interesting in the sense where you know how we as people go through things, um, and and then we think when we see other people go through things, it's like stop it right now. Whatever habit you have, whatever trauma you have been through, oh, that happened years ago, get over it and move on, right? Um, so it's like those that are going through things, those that see people going through things, this is just the way I think about it. You know how we say it's an ongoing process for whatever healing someone may be going through, whatever addiction someone may be going through, whatever finding jobs someone may be going through, whatever battling weight or battling a critical diagnosis that you have been giving, everything, it doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen like that because you say, get over it, get it done, let's do it. It's a process, it's an ongoing process. And so that's why I found this particular article quite interesting. Try to not just think about the topic they're talking about, but the details within it. So this is by Chris Buckley, an opinion by Chris Buckley. In the editor's note, it says, Christopher Buckley of Lafayette, Georgia, is an Afghanistan war veteran. He is a former white supremacist. Now he spreads awareness and educates the public about the dangers of extremism through his work with the nonprofit group called Parents for Peace. The views expressed in this commentary are his own. So they said this week we asked the question, what comes next for America and hate? The federal government lists white supremacy as a top threat for national security, thanks in part to a rise in white nationalism over the past 4 years. Within a new Let me get past all that. That's not the topic I want to focus on. So hate and bigotry are now bigger than they have ever been. And because of the internet, it has become easier for hate groups to spread propaganda and attract new members. Among these groups are active U.S. military personnel and veterans. I would know because that was me. After serving in Afghanistan, I officially joined the White Knights of the KKK in 2014. The skills that I learned in the military, like a heightened level of mental and tactical awareness, are exactly what groups like this value for the purpose of training new members. I was a prime target to be groomed and recruited. Hate and anger were things that I had dealt with since childhood. Now this is the part that's good. Hate and anger is the things that I had dealt with since childhood. As a young man, I was a survivor of molestation. I became extremely homophobic because of this. My racism developed after I started taking the bus to school with other races. As one of the few white kids in that school, I suffered a lot of racial bullying. The more confrontations and bullying I experienced, the more confident I became in my beliefs. Now this could be not only for this particular topic, this can be in any topic, right? or any community. Because I was so vulnerable as a child and had not dealt with those early traumas, I was searching for a way to feel strong and dominant as an adult. In some ways, being in the military allowed me to bury, not resolve, my childhood traumas, but has also created new traumas when I lost comrades. This is why a lot of licensed personnel say get help, and deal with your past traumas. During my service in Afghanistan, my best friend was killed in an unexpected attack on a routine drill. He died in my arms, and I blamed Muslims for his death. Remember after 9/11, they was telling us to hate Muslims, hate all Muslims because of 9/11. We were trained to see them as the enemy. I came home with a hatred for Islam as well as an addiction to painkillers. I was prescribed after a back injury. I had been trained in the military to serve with duty, and loyalty. I would have done anything to show my loyalty to the White Knights of the KKK. It gave me a sense of purpose that I was missing after I came home. And I think that's when I look at the homeless crisis, I look at the war on drugs and the mental health initiative, I can see that. White supremacy in many ways filled a void in my life. People do different things to fill a void. I'm not saying that it's an excuse, and I'm not saying if you are on the receiving end of any type of trauma that you shouldn't hold anyone accountable. I'm just saying there's different ways to look at things, and things just don't happen just like that to get rid of. But my life in the KKK was a miserable cycle of perpetrated violence and hate, fueled by drugs and enhanced by the media's rhetoric against us. If you look for hate, you will find it. It was exhausting, and there was nothing positive about my experience when I look back. It was not good or exciting. I was on a constant high on supremacy, hatred, and free narcotics. In the group, there was always someone there who had drugs. You could pretty much pick your poison, and someone there gave you what you wanted. While shopping in a supermarket with our toddler, my wife was threatened by a group of women because they knew that her husband was in the KKK. At that moment, she knew that if she didn't do something, our family would be harmed. A few weeks after this incident, my wife decided to find help and Googled how to get your husband out of a hate group. She found Arna Michaelis, A-R-N-A, last name M-I-C-H-A-E-L-I-S, a former neo-Nazi, online and emailed him for help. Arno was once the lead singer of the white power rock band, Centurion. It is now an accomplished and anti-hate activist who also works with Parents for Peace. My wife didn't think she would hear back, but he responded back and flew down to meet me to take on an interview. Arna not only helped me address my trauma and pain, but he also introduced me to Dr. Heval Kelly, Hevalkelli, a Kurdish Muslim refugee who is now a cardiologist. In 2018, Arna met Dr. Kelly at an event in Georgia. Dr. Kelly had done a lot of community outreach work to build bridges between Muslims and the rest of the community. Because of the love and compassion they showed me, I was able to move forward in my life and give back. Now I help people disengage from hate groups, return to their families, and lead healthy and happy lives. Many people have asked, how can the problem of hate be solved? That is a very tough question to answer. I believe the cure for hate is education and healing from one's own issues and trauma. Many extremists